Welcome back to the channel. The United Kingdom is facing one of the most significant shifts in immigration policy in decades, as new rules introduced in 2025 are causing widespread upheaval. Immigrants across the country are being forced to reconsider their futures, with many now staring down the possibility of being forced to leave the UK, the only home they've known. As the government tightens its grip on immigration, from stricter work permits to harsher asylum regulations, the consequences of these policies are already being felt, disrupting lives, industries, and communities. What's behind this drastic shift in immigration laws, and how are immigrants across the UK grappling with the changes? In this special report, we will break down the new rules, examine their far-reaching impacts, and explore the growing backlash that could shape the country's future. A dramatic shift in immigration rules. The most significant change under the new policy is the introduction of a point-based immigration system, which now determines whether an immigrant can remain in the UK. This system awards points based on a series of criteria, including skills, salary, language proficiency, and education level. Only those who meet a certain threshold of points will be eligible for long-term residency or citizenship. This means that immigrants who don't meet the required criteria will no longer have the option to stay in the UK, forcing them to either leave or adjust their status. In addition to the point-based system, the rules around family reunification have been severely restricted. Only immediate family members of British citizens or long-term residents are allowed to apply for reunification, and even then, the process comes with stringent financial and eligibility requirements. This has been a huge blow to many immigrants hoping to bring loved ones over to join them in the UK. For families who have lived in the UK for years or even decades, the uncertainty surrounding reunification has become a heartbreaking reality. The changes don't end there. Skilled visas, which once offered a path to long-term residency for workers in various sectors, have now been narrowed down to focus on highly specialized fields, including healthcare, technology, and engineering. Previously more accessible, these visas are now available only to those with niche expertise or those who can demonstrate substantial financial backing. As a result, many workers who once qualified under the old, more lenient system now find themselves ineligible, unsure of where to turn next. The personal crisis of immigrants in the UK. For millions of immigrants, these new rules represent more than just a set of regulations, they mark the beginning of an overwhelming crisis. Families who have lived in the UK for years are now being forced to confront a devastating reality: they may have to leave the only home they've ever known. I've been living here for 15 years, my children were born here, and now we're being told we have to leave. It's heartbreaking. This is all we know, and it feels like we've been abandoned, shares one immigrant. The personal toll of these changes is being felt across the UK, with the impact rippling through various sectors such as healthcare, education, and technology. Immigrants have long played a vital role in filling labour gaps and supporting essential services, yet their sudden departure could create significant shortages. Hospitals, schools, and businesses could struggle to function without the skilled professionals who have become an integral part of their operations. If these workers are forced to leave, the knock-on effect will be felt throughout society, from the healthcare system to the tech industry, where innovation and growth depend on a diverse and skilled workforce. The prospect of being forced to leave. The reality of the new immigration rules is that many immigrants who fail to meet the strict criteria now face the possibility of being forced to leave the country. As the deadline for compliance approaches, millions of people are in a race against time to either adjust their immigration status or make plans to return to their home countries. Legal challenges are mounting, with many immigrants and advocacy groups fighting to reverse or amend the policies. However, time is running out, and for many, it's too late to make a meaningful change. We're seeing a huge surge in cases from families and individuals seeking legal recourse, but the truth is, for many, there's simply no time left, says one legal advocate. The regulations are so rigid that unless there's a significant change, they'll be forced to leave the country, many after years of building lives here. A growing public outcry. The UK's new immigration policies have sparked widespread protests across the country. Thousands of people have taken to the streets, demanding that the government soften or reverse its stance. Advocacy groups are at the forefront of the fight, pushing for policies that reflect the values of inclusivity, fairness, and compassion. We believe these changes are unfair and short-sighted. We need policies that reflect the values of inclusivity and fairness. Immigrants have built this country, and they deserve to have their future here too, said one advocacy group. The voices of those affected by these policies are growing louder, and the question now is whether the government will reconsider. Will the UK's immigration system remain in its current form, or will the government listen to the growing chorus of voices calling for change? Only time will tell, but what is clear is that the country's cultural landscape is on the brink of a dramatic transformation. The future of immigration. The future of immigration in the UK. As the clock ticks down and the fate of millions hangs in the balance, the road ahead remains uncertain. Will the UK face an exodus of immigrants that reshapes its social fabric? Or will the government recognise the value immigrants bring to the country and take steps to ensure that they can continue to call the UK home? The coming months will be crucial in determining how the UK navigates this complex issue and what role immigration will play in shaping the future of the nation.